This is the plaintiff, Ryan Lewis. He says the defendant, his neighbor, allowed his male German Shepherd to get loose, and the dog impregnated his female German Shepherd named Cheyenne. His dog ended up needing an emergency C-section, and he had 10 puppies to deal with. And this whole thing's the defendant's fault because he can't keep his darn dog from roaming the neighborhood. So neighbor or no neighbor, he's suing for the $4,661.39. He's now out. This is the defendant, Mark Lutz. He says he and the plaintiff discussed breeding their dogs many times, and one day it happened. The guy's a little nuts to sue him now because he sold the puppies and made a lot of money. All of a sudden, the plaintiff wants him to pay for the vet bills on top of all the money he's made? Is he crazy? He's accused of dogging a neighbor.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay. Ryan Lewis and Margaret Lewis?
Yes.
All right. Who's Margaret to you?
My mother.
Okay. And the two of you own the dog?
Yes.
All right. You are suing Mark Lutz for $4,661.39 in vet bills for your dog during her pregnancy, where his dog is the father.
Correct.
Kind of like a deadbeat granddad, kind of complicated. All right, tell me what's going on.
Well, basically, my German Shepherd and his German Shepherd had got together. My German Shepherd got pregnant.
Wait, stop. How did they get together? How did that occur? Because that doesn't.
His dog came over to my property.
Okay, but by design?
No, my dog was in heat, and I guess he smelled it.
Wait. Just back it up, pal. All right, his dog is loose.
Apparently.
And your dog is loose?
My dog's on my property. Outside.
Loose?
Outside.
How does his dog get in? You have a fence?
No.
Okay, so your dog is loose?
Yes.
And his dog is loose, and it's a mystery that they got together. That one's in here. But you guys had never talked about breeding your dogs?
Well, this wasn't the first time it happened. Last year, they had got together, and there was a pregnancy, but she lost the puppies.
Okay,
And
so I'm sorry, was this by design or was this by accident?
It was totally by accident.
Just a happy little coincidence that you were both pleased with?
Yes.
Right,
Yeah. And the dogs just roaming around being dogs and,
Yep.
Okay, do you call them up and say, woohoo, success, maybe,
Well, I actually had to call him because the dogs actually got locked together. I don't know if
I hate when that happens.
it happened, so we actually had to pour cold water on them to separate them.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was kind of an ugly sight. But
Not to the dogs.
but anyway, after there was pregnancy, she was
Well, what
home.
did you two discuss about
We had
the event? Well, when did you call him and tell him? Well, yeah, you called him then.
Well, I called him after.
So what did you two say to each other?
After the first exam, I called him and I said the dog's pregnant, and he said, "Okay, great." We were both happy about it.
Okay.
No problems, no concerns.
Wait, there should be a problem and a concern, which is like, how's this going to work out? I mean, according to you, what's the deal you guys strike?
We didn't discuss anything at
You
the
never
time.
discussed a deal.
No, he just said he had a couple people that were interested in puppies. I had a couple people that were interested.
Well, but wait a second. Is he supposed to make money off of this because it was his mail?
No.
He's not supposed to make any money.
Well,
He's not going to get any dogs. He's not going to get pick of the litter. He's not going to get anything.
He had pick of the litter.
Oh, so how did he have that? That is my question.
I gave it to him.
Oh, when did you? That's what we call an agreement. I'm trying to figure out what the agreement was. So you told him, I'll give you pick of the litter.
Correct.
All right. And then you would keep all of the proceeds from all the other sales.
No. What happened was he told me that he had people that were interested. And I told him I wanted $800 for the puppies, whatever he could have after that. So he was apparently selling them for $12. 3 puppies were sold on his side. I sold 2 for $800. I don't know what he made on his side. And then a couple of them after that I sold 1 for $6.
How do you know that he sold 3 for $1,200?
I don't. It was just what he told me.
All right. So, and he told you should be selling them for more, right?
Correct.
But you didn't.
No.
Okay.
I just wanted to get rid of them.
Right. I understand. All right. So then what goes wrong?
Well, the day of the birth, she had 2 at home. The third one got stuck in her birth canal, so I had to bring her for an emergency C-section. This was Sunday night at like 11 o'clock at night.
Oh my gosh, it must have been so stressful.
Oh my, it was a bad night. But I took her to the hospital. They had to do an emergency C-section. After that, they had to keep her overnight and, observations, all this stuff. It turned out to be just for that one day, it was like $2,600 approximately. 2 weeks later, I had to bring them again, for their 2-week checkup. Approximately $100 a puppy. There's another $1,000. And then after that,
Did you not foresee that there could be costs associated with
Oh,
this
absolutely.
whole-
And during the time me and him were speaking, he said he would be more than happy to split the bill with me.
Of the C-section?
No, he just said the entire vet bill. He never said the C-section. He said, I'll split the bills with you.
Did you tell him that you would pay for half of the bills for the dog?
Before the C-section, of course, I would assume that I would pay half of everything. After the C-section, I said, if you need money, let me know. We'll split the bill. And every time we talked about it was, we'll work it out, we'll work it out, we'll work it out.
Okay,
and
so what you're telling me, though, is that you are in agreement that you were supposed to split the bill?
Split the bill if we split the puppies.
Oh, split the bill if you split the puppies.
We did not have an agreement in place before the puppies were born. We assumed that I would
How's
keep...
that working out for the two of you? Because we have a name for people like that. We call them litigants. Okay, so go on.
I planned on keeping a puppy. I think Brian planned on keeping a puppy.
Correct.
And then we would hopefully have 8 healthy puppies left.
To sell.
Right.
So you tell him, I'm happy to split the cost
When it
under the
happened-
impression that you would also split the profit from these puppies. And then when do you learn that he wants to keep the profit from all the puppies?
Well, the game changed after the puppies were born. Like he said, I sold a couple right away. And soon as
Well, you obviously knew that he wanted to keep at least 800. And then what did you sell those 3 dogs for?
It started out like this. I was going to keep a dog. As you said, pick of the litter. He was going to keep a dog. And then, I don't know, a week or two into it, I think he decided that he wanted to keep 2 dogs. So as far as I knew, the math was 10 minus 3 is 7 left. There was 1 female. There were 9 males and 1 female. The female, somebody on his side claimed to want the female. Okay, so now we have 6 males left. I sold 2, and then a third one.
What did you sell them for?
800.
Okay.
And I mean, he might have thought that I got more. The puppies that I sold were friends of mine that didn't have the money, and I fronted the money to him as soon as they took the puppy, so there were no headaches. He wanted 800, I gave him 800. And one of the payments I just got last week. So, I wasn't doing this for the money. I wanted a dog, and that's what I did.
Okay.
So you have a copy of the text
Well, do you
messages,
ever
Your
say
Honor?
to him, though, I want to see all the text messages on your phone, not what you guys print out. But my question to you is, at some point, aren't you curious what your deal is?
Well, my deal, I was curious from the start because I never
Why
saw.
didn't you ask?
I never saw the bill. Okay, so
No, but what? I'm sorry.
I'm
You're
not questioning the bill, but the bill, in order for you to leave the vet's office with your dog and 10 puppies, the bill has to get paid. Correct?
Right.
Okay. So the vet got paid. He paid it. Somebody in his family paid it. Okay. So let's move on. Let's sell the dogs. Like I said, every time I sold a dog, I gave him 800.
Right. So then there's how many dogs? You kept 2?
I currently have 2.
Okay. And so that's 1,600. And then you sold another how many?
He sold 3, which I actually ended up
Which you got the money for. And so there's how many?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
How many dogs did you sell?
I sold 3.
For 800?
No, I'm sorry. I sold 2 for 800. I sold 1 for 600. I sold 1 for 500, and I think I gave away 2.
So you take in 4,300. Well, you take in how much money? How much money did you take in the sale of all the dogs?
Approximately 36 maybe.
Okay. And then you kept 2 of them.
Correct.
So that's another 19 because you have the value of 2 beautiful German Shepherds. I don't understand your lawsuit. Why should he have to pay for not just a C-section, but every vet bill for every puppy that was yours?
Well, turns out that I had the puppies for over 10 weeks. The first 3 didn't go. Obviously, you can't sell the puppies until 8 weeks later. After 4 weeks, I still had to get all the immunizations for him. You can't sell puppies until
No,
after
you're
8 weeks.
answering how much it costs you to breed your dog.
Right.
That's not my question.
Well, he
my
offered to
question
split
is,
the bill.
why does he have to pay for it?
He offered to split the bill with me.
Okay, I don't care what he offered. He doesn't want to do it now. So now I have to look at whether he's obligated to do it. So I need you to give me a good reason why he would be obligated to do it. What is he? Why is he obligated to do it? Because his dog came on your property? Because his dog assaulted your dog? What is your theory on why he? Because if the deal is you get pick of the litter, he's out of the picture, and every piece of profit is yours. And if there hadn't been a C-section, that'd be awesome, right? Because it would be all pure profit in your pocket.
Right.
Turns out that it wasn't awesome because there was a C-section involved, which is a bunch of your profit.
Right.
And so now you turn around and you want to change the deal on him, but you also want to keep all of the money, and you don't want to split that and take that off the
I
tab.
didn't make a dime out of this.
What are you talking about? You sold a bunch of dogs for $800 unless you felt like keeping them.
No, if you add all the math together,
then you don't make a profit because you have the unfortunate circumstance of medical bills.
Right, and
but
then I also had.
I'm sorry, the fact that you didn't make a profit because you didn't strike a deal that you now, in retrospect, wish you had struck, does not mean he has to eat it. You see, the next time you breed your dog, you have to think and decide whether you're going into business with the person and you're going to split everything 50-50, which means you split the profit, you split the costs of the vet bills. Or do you want to give them pick of the litter and have them gone from your life so that everything that happens is all meat and potatoes into your pocket? Which would be great if there's no C-section, right?
Right.
Because if there's no C-section and you had how many puppies again? 10. And you give him one, that's 9 times your 800. Woo, 7,200 for you, right?
If it worked out that way.
Yeah, if it worked out that way, but it didn't. It's your business deal.
Right.
Why do you want me to clean up your mess? This was your like loosey-goosey business deal.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So who here has dogs or has had dogs? Would anybody here mate their dogs and then sell the puppies? Anybody?
I would have.
Huh?
I would have, but then I changed my mind.
Why?
Because I realized that you can rescue puppies and the dogs can die while giving labor.
Fair points. What do you think?
Yeah, I would mate my dog and have puppies, but I'd have to have a really good agreement with the other people so they treated the puppies properly.
What about the argument she makes that why bring more dogs into the world when you can rescue all these dogs that are just as loving? What do you think?
Just for money.
Huh? Just for money.
Well,
just a mercenary thing.
No, well, I bought my dog as a guy breeding his puppies to raise money for college. So I don't see a problem with it as long as it's done in a humane way.
Fair enough.
I think if the dogs are being bred in a proper way, then we won't have as big a problem.
Okay, fair point. Going inside the courtroom.
After the 4 weeks, the mother of the puppies stopped nursing, so I had to pay another $100 every week for food. It was constant expense after expense.
Yeah, it's expensive.
So after that, I ran out of money. So I even went to his house one day and I said, dude, I don't even have money for dog food. He said, I'm not giving you any money.
Okay, and your defense is?
Not true.
What's your
He
defense?
came over and asked for money. We gave him money.
How much money did you give him?
$40 or something. I can't remember.
But your defense is, I got pick of the litter, I'm done. There's nothing else, it's my responsibility.
And I went out of my way to sell the dogs. He asked for $800, I got him $800 every time, and I paid it up front before I got paid.
I don't understand why you did that though.
I was being a nice guy.
He did.
I don't know.
But did you expect to get any profit from any of this other than the pick of the litter?
It wasn't about the money. I didn't want any money. I wanted the dog.
That is actually
And then once you got the dog, you turned around, and you already had the dog, and then you turned around and sold 3 dogs.
Yeah, gave him the money.
And then at some point,
But
you
he
are
never paid
telling
for the
him that
dogs.
you'll split the
I got
the
checks
vet.
from them.
Do you have an off button? I'd press it now. At some point, you tell him that you'd split the vet bills with him, but according to you, that was before you learned.
The deal changed.
But when the deal changed, did you say to him, "Why is this deal changing?" Or did you just go with the flow? Yeah. This is after everything blows up, though, right? Nobody has text before everything blows up. Do you? Do you have text you wanted to show me?
He probably has the same thing.
Well, who knows? You never know. Let me see yours.
Your Honor.
Hold on. I have the vet bill due tomorrow. Did you decide on if you're either paying for Quint, who's Quint, your dog, or splitting the bill? I need the money by tomorrow. Yeah, this is after everything blows up. I am not understanding the math. 10 puppies, 3 we keep is 7. 7 times 800 is 5,600. I know the surgery was 2,600 plus the shots, but it's not that much. When I offered to split the bill, I would assume I would get half the money from the puppies. You set the price, and I've been working on selling them. If Ricky takes 1, that's 3 we've sold. I will continue to sell them till they're gone. I just added up all the receipts. It's over $4,500, he says. I have all the receipts to prove it. The last 2 I only sold for $600. Plus, you're assuming 7 puppies sold. You didn't pay for yours. Plus, the guy's doing my driveway, so I didn't get money. Plus $50 a week for food, 13 weeks of picking up manure. I'll use the kinder, family-friendly word. 10 times a day, my kitchen's trash. I need new carpets. I shouldn't have to get into this. We never agreed on splitting the puppies. I don't understand, dude. I'm seriously, I just don't understand you. You either have a business deal that you split everything, and that includes profit as well as costs, expenses, or you don't have a business deal where you split everything, but you don't get to have it both ways. He splits all the costs, you make all the profit. That's like in some la la land that doesn't exist. You only have puppies to sell because that dog did its business with your dog. And so that he gave you something and you gave him something, pick of the litter, and your guys' business is done. Next time you breed your dog, get in writing what you expect, because what you expect, nobody's ever going to agree to, which is you make all the profit, but they share in the expenses.
But there was
crazy.
No profit.
Then tough. That's what we call a bad business deal for you. But it doesn't mean that everyone in your environment has to pay for you because the chips didn't fall where you wanted them to. That is a risk of business. That's it. Verdict for the defendant.
Let's get some comment from the plaintiff coming out here into the hallway here after losing this case. What?
I'm just very disappointed. I thought it was going to be a little bit, better in my favor.
All right, so you learn from this case and you learn from the judge's comments that you have to do what next time you go through this process?
I was just under the impression, there was a leash law, the dog came on my property, and I figured, he would at least be somewhat decent to split the bill with me, and the bottom line is I didn't make any money. I mean, I have to repair a lot of damages done to my house.
So you're going to make these same mistakes all over again, or how do you prevent this?
I got the dog fixed. It's not going to happen again.
Okay. All right, right down this way.
Thank you.
Okay, see ya. All right, so step on in here, and your feeling on this outcome?
It is what it is. I knew it going into after the surgery. He wanted $800 a dog. I went on my way to sell 3 dogs, and I did what I was supposed to do.
And you guys are still neighbors?
Yeah, we live 4 houses away.
You see each other? You say hello to each other in the street?
I haven't seen him, no.
All right, over to Harvey.
Okay, she makes a compelling point, but I do have to say that I believe in rescues because I'm telling you, these dogs do not forget, ever. When you get them, they will never forget that you rescued them. It's a weird thing, but they know. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.